Hello there, welcome to another installment of Dwayne Allen Guitar Concepts. It's been a while, I know, and here I am again. No more excuses, but I'm back. Hope you guys are having a great spring and warming up where you live. We're going to do a lesson today in the, I'm going to call this probably advanced category. Some intermediate people might be able to handle this, but today I want to talk about the melodic minor scale and the modes of the melodic minor, okay? This is one of those subjects that there's probably 500 other videos on this on YouTube, and you know, none of this stuff I invented, but I kind of wanted to talk about the modes of the melodic minor scale and kind of the characteristics of each mode and what kind of chord you would use it to improvise over, because it seems like some of the stuff that I've seen, it just tells you their names, tells you what they are, and then that's it. The most important thing with all of these is how can you use them in improvising, right? Okay, so what is a melodic minor scale? It's basically if you take a natural minor scale and you raise the 6th note and the 7th note a half step, you have a melodic minor. Now, the traditional classical way to do a melodic minor is you raise the 6th and the 7th ascending, but when you descend, you go back to regular minor. So let's say if you go A natural minor, you raise the 6th and 7th notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then root, and then when you go backwards, traditionally, you would go back to natural minor. But we're going to talk about the jazz melodic minor, which just means that you raise the 6th and the 7th, both ascending and descending. Okay, so the melodic minor scale is, I kind of use it, the main use of it is in place of a Dorian scale. So anytime you're playing a minor 7 chord or a minor 9 or something like that, you can use the melodic minor. Now, you're probably saying, yeah, but the melodic minor has a raised 7th. Yes, it does. If, let's say you're playing, I'm going to use A because A is the easiest key because it's all naturals pretty much, except for the raised 6th and 7th. But let's say you have an A minor 7 chord. I got my little looper set up, so I'm going to record A minor 7. Okay, so normally over a minor 7, you would use a Dorian, right? That's like the first one that you would normally learn. Right? It has a certain sound to it. If you raise the 7th, now we have the melodic minor. It's okay if you play the raised 7th against the person who's comping. You're just basically altering the tones. That person, if they're really listening, should raise the 7th on their chords to accommodate what you're playing. But even if they don't, it still works, right? So I'm going to play the melodic minor with the raised 7th, and it's still going to sound cool. Sounds beautiful, right? So, first mode of the melodic minor is the actual mode itself, right? Some people call it a Dorian sharp 7. So you take a Dorian, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, raise it a half step. Okay, so we'll just call the first mode of the melodic minor Dorian sharp 7. So you can use it over a minor 7, minor 9. You can also use it over a minor major 7 because it fits, right? Or maybe a minor major 9. Cool chord, right? So that's the first mode. Okay, the second mode of the melodic minor, we're going to call it a Phrygian sharp 6. So I forgot to mention, hopefully you know all the modes of the major scale. You should know those. Those are more basic. Those are the ones you should learn first. I have a video on those if you haven't learned those yet. Anyway, if you take a Phrygian scale, a B Phrygian, and you raise the 6th note a half step, then you have a Phrygian sharp 6, which is the second mode of the melodic minor. Okay, the Phrygian is a very enigmatic mode. You know, it's kind of got a weird sound to it. What most people do with the Phrygian is they'll play, like, if we're doing it on B, you would do like a C Lydian kind of a triad with a B in the bass. That's how most people would approach a Phrygian. So I'm going to record the C Lydian with the B in the bass, and I'm going to record that chord, and then I'm going to play the Phrygian sharp 6 mode over that. It's going to sound really cool. Really dark, kind of a beautiful sound to it. So what I'm doing right now, as you can see, is I'm taking one chord and then I'm practicing just improvising using one mode over that chord. This is what I do with all my students. You know, whenever you learn a new scale, it's basically like a new color, okay? And whenever you're learning a new scale or a new mode, you really got to get that scale, that sound in your head, in your ear. So the best thing to do is just practice improvising with one scale. I usually will do it where one chord is just kind of locked in freely, and I play freely over it. I'm not worried about chord changes and rhythm and groove and all that. I'm just getting the sound of the mode in my head. The most important thing that you got to do with all of these is sing them, get that sound in your head. So if you want to be able to get that Phrygian sharp 6 sound in your head, sing everything. Right? Okay, the third mode of the melodic minor is what we call a Lydian augmented. That's basically like a Lydian scale with a sharp 5. The other way to think of it is a major scale with a sharp 4 and a sharp 5. So you can play for the bottom chord, or you can do a major 7 sharp 5 or a major 7 sharp 4. It's really another beautiful dark sounding one. So I'm going to play a C major 7 sharp 5. I would sing while you play too, just to get that sound in your head. Right? Sing those, get those notes in your head. Right? So, third mode is Lydian augmented. Fourth mode is called Lydian Dominant, okay? So that one is like this. And what that basically is like a Mixolydian scale with a sharp 4, okay? So it's like a D7. You can use this over any dominant 7 chord. Even though it has a raised 4th, it actually works really well over a regular dominant. So let's say you got a D9, right? Just something simple. You can use Lydian Dominant over that. Really great sounding mode. It's the one that I recommend people play. Like, let's say you're playing over a dominant 7 chord. You don't want to just play the Mixolydian the whole time, which gets kind of plain after a while, right? But then you don't want to play any kind of altered scales either. This is a good one to use where you only have one altered tone and it's not really like far outside like some of the other ones we're going to talk about. Okay. So that was the fourth mode. So let's review a little bit. So first mode is the melodic minor itself. We can call it a Dorian sharp 7, sorry. Second mode is a Phrygian sharp 6. Third mode is a Lydian augmented. basically like a major scale with a sharp 4 and a sharp 5. The next mode is Lydian Dominant, which is like a Mixolydian with a sharp 4. Also, you would use it over any kind of dominant 7, flat 5, or like a sharp 11. So if you did a D9 sharp 11, right? Okay, next mode. Next mode is not that common, but it can definitely be used. This one is called a Mixolydian flat 6. Okay, so this is, it's like if you take an E Mixolydian scale, you take the 6 and lower to half step, right? Okay. That's a really interesting scale. I would use that one over any kind of a dominant 7 with a raised 5th, sharp 5. Or you could use it like some people think of it as like a 13, like a dominant 7 flat 13, like an E7 with a flat 13. So like this. That loop didn't come out that clear. Let me try it again. So let me do a dominant 7 sharp 5 chord. Got the idea? Gives you another option. Sometimes with dominant 7 sharp 5s, people always go right to the whole tone scale, which works, but this is another option. The whole point of learning all these things is when you're an improviser and you have different kinds of chord changes, you want to have like a list of things you can play over each chord. Like in the beginning with a major 7, you have one choice, and then minor 7, you have one choice. But the whole point is when you learn more of these modes, you can actually add to your list of choices, and think of them as colors. You don't have to use all of them all the time, but they're there for you whenever you want a change of a sound, okay? All right, the next one, this one is called a Locrian sharp 2. So if you take like an F sharp Locrian, which would be this, okay, and you take the second note and you raise that a half step, that's called a Locrian sharp 2. So if you know your Locrian scale, you know that that goes along with a minor 7 flat 5 chord. So if I play an F sharp minor 7 flat 5 chord, I'm going to play an F sharp Locrian sharp 2. So it's just taking like a mode that you already know and you're just changing one note. So here we go. That raised 2, that natural 9 sounds really beautiful over that. Sorry, a little sloppy there. Beautiful, right? Beautiful sound. These are all beautiful. Okay, the final one is the most fun one, and we call that the, what do we call it? The altered scale. I blanked out for a second. Also known as a super Locrian. So it's like a Locrian scale with a cape. So if we're in the key of A melodic minor and you start on G sharp, it goes like this. The half whole diminished as well. What do they call it? Diminished whole tone. There's a lot of names for these things. Yeah, because it starts off, this is an interesting one, like a half whole diminished. Right? And then it goes from there to a whole tone scale. it's a really cool scale. It's like a combination of a diminished and a whole tone, starting on G sharp. Okay, and that scale you would use over any kind of altered dominant. So if it's like a dominant 7, flat 9, sharp 9, something like that, that's when you would use this scale. A lot of people, when they do like a dominant 7, flat 9, sharp 9, either one, they'll do like a half whole diminished over that. But this is another version where you just do like a melodic minor up a half step. So in the key of A melodic minor, the 7th mode starts on G sharp. So we're going to do like a G sharp, well, I'll do like a G sharp 7 sharp 9. Then we're going to do G sharp super Lohengrin. So it's got a lot of the altered tones that you would need to cover the G sharp 7 altered. So hopefully you guys got something out of this. So how do you practice these things? Well, what I would do is take the fingering right out of the scale and then kind of start on that root. So like if you're on A, you could do it right within the scale, or from here, figure it out 2 octaves and start learning the fingerings all over the neck. But the main thing is get used to the sound of each of these and start incorporating it in your improvising. So you get a looper like this, you lock the chord in there, you really get the sound of each one. And then when you're playing tunes, whenever these types of chords come up, try to incorporate your melodic minor modes into it. It takes a long time. It takes a long time to get it in your ear and in your fingers and to know when to use them and how to use them. But that's what this stuff, it's all work. This stuff takes forever. So I hope you guys got something out of this. I know there's a lot of videos about this, but I wanted to do my take on it. And if you're one of my students, this is some things that you just got to learn how to do. You know, if you know the modes of the major scale, and then you learn the modes of the melodic minor, now you've got some choices. Now you get some choices that you can use. We haven't even gotten into the modes of the harmonic minor or the harmonic major yet. That's even more cool sounding stuff. But if you have the modes of the major and the melodic minor, you can use these for quite a long time. A lot of the beboppers and hard boppers, this is kind of all they use. They didn't really get into the modes of the harmonic majors and all that kind of. That's more of a recent thing. But anyway, if you know these, you're good to go for quite a while. If you like this lesson, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. A lot of you guys did hit the subscribe button after my last video. I really appreciate that. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching and listening. If you like my videos, please send them to your friends, forward them to your friends. If anyone is interested in guitar lessons, hit me up. I'm available. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And hit the subscribe, hit the like button. I'll see you guys soon. Have a great weekend.